What do I need to know about sex before I get married? I love it when people ask this question because that is the best possible time to find out. And we're going to unpack that today. Now, listen, there are so many books that are written on the mechanics of sex, but I am going to give you 5 points that people rarely talk about that are absolutely going to be your success tips. So stay tuned. I'm a relationship coach and a Christian sex educator, and I get asked a lot of questions, and I am dedicating this time for hot seat questions from my audience. So each week, one question, zero laser focus there. And if you have a question, please put it in the comments, and I will add it to my list. So today's question is, what do I need to know about sex before I get married? And I have 5 tips for success. Number 1, don't count on sex as an overflow of this spontaneous feeling. Now listen, it's awesome when it happens, and it does happen, but don't count on it. You need to be proactive. I always encourage couples to schedule sex, and don't roll your eyes, because anything that is important you put on your calendar, you make an appointment for, you are sure to make it happen. So you need to have sex consistently in your marriage. You may think, woohoo, there would be no problem making that happen. But responsibilities can grow and it might get bumped on a lower rung of your list. So you need to be consistent with it. And in order to be consistent, you have to plan for it. So just don't count on it always being spontaneous. Number 2, all, and I said ALL, all of your expectations for sex will change over the years. What you wanted before you got married is not the whole story, because you haven't been married and you don't know what's it really going to be like, feel like, what am I going to want later. And everybody changes with their health issues. Women go through so many changes in regards to hormones. And as I said, those life responsibilities kick in. So give yourself some grace and just understand it's okay that the expectations change. You can talk about it often, keep your spouse in the loop, but be assured expectations will change. Number 3, if it's awkward to talk about, if sex is awkward to talk about before you get married, then it may still be awkward to talk about even after you get married. So if you're not married and you're watching this is your motivation. Show it to your fiance and start to dive into what you want each other to know about your preferences for sex. There are so many great conversations to have about sex, to get on the same page, because you're so very different, and to be able to talk about it outside of the bedroom, before the bedroom, can definitely reduce the anxiety once you're in the bedroom. And number 4, I was kind of hinting at, here's what you need to know. The reason sex can be challenging is because you are 2 very different people. And I mean, it's not just because one of you is a man, one of you is a woman. All of your preconceived ideas about sex will formulate how you show up, will formulate how confident you feel in the bedroom. There are differences about everything. There's more differences than there are similarities. Now, I'm not saying that to, scare you off, but you need to be prepared. It's normal for there to be differences, and you can find the fun in the differences. You can just see, hey, this is a mystery for us to explore. It keeps us engaging one another, because it is anything but boring. How about number 5? It's worth the effort, the work, to have a fantastic sex life, because it is actually life-changing, all of the benefits. And yes, there's pleasure, but there's so much more. I believe that God designed sex as a gift to marriage, and it's a gift He wants couples to enjoy and just keep on unwrapping and celebrating. But as I said, there are some challenges. There are some blocks that people may have. So I just want you to press past the blocks so that you will be ready to enjoy sex. And it's going to be better than you have imagined if you keep these tips in mind. Now, if talking about sex is not one of your easy spots, then I want to encourage you. I have this great guide called 10 Tips to Start Tough Talks. And I know that that applies to sex. Hey, it could apply to money or in-laws or children or how you spend your leisure time. There are a lot of tough conversations that will happen in your marriage, and why not be prepared? So if you're interested in that free guide, I'm happy to send it to you. Just put it in the comments, 10 tips, and I will get that off to you. Thanks so much for tuning in today. And remember, God's design for a thriving marriage is an intimate connection in spirit, soul, and body.